What's up, weebs? Welcome back to Anime Lane. As always, I'm your host, Notorious. Join me once again today is Shaun.
What's up?
And Melina.
What is up, party?
Hey. Yeah.
It's so funny because of the problems we've been having with the mixing desk, the last episode that you did like a really loud one, because of how much processing I've had to do to the audio to like get it to sound okay. You kind of don't hear it at all.
Aww.
Because
you.
me and Shaun are talking. I think it's the last episode of season 2 that we recorded. Can't hear it.
You're being
I
silent.
take that as blatant disrespect to the
I can't do
being
anything about it unless you want to hear. I don't think that Discord even picked that up.
No.
So yeah, today is another Reddit reading episode. As we mentioned last week, when we were talking about Ghost in the Shell Innocence, we're just accounting for the fact that we probably won't be able to record in person for a little bit, and we're still sorting out issues with our sound equipment. So yeah, we want to have something there so that if shit doesn't work, we have some time to figure it out.
Yeah.
We're not saying this is a time filler episode, but
No.
for our kind of like banter, like we talk on Discord all the time. Every week we have a call on a Wednesday, which is the day we're recording this. And we talk back and forth. But recording podcasts, it's much more difficult. And even just doing these, like this session today, where we recorded, like this is our third recording. It's not felt the same.
No.
It really does not feel right.
We've like had different setups. Like we've all sat around a table. We've had a more relaxed setup, and all of that changes like the output.
Yeah.
This is my least favorite.
Yeah, but the funny thing is like up until today we had recorded I think 3 other remote episodes.
I was part of any of those.
You were part of Spirits Within.
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah, Spirits Within was one.
Yep.
I believe maybe the other 2 were me and Shaun.
Yeah,
believe
we
so,
had
yeah.
one where we did JoJo.
And the
other was-
Halo. Yeah.
I just remembered it existed like last night because
Yeah.
I listened back to some of the JoJo one because we couldn't really remember what we were talking about. for
That's
most of
right.
it. And also, fun fact, I meant to tell you this. We actually talked about Bubble coming out.
Did we? Oh, that's
Oh.
crazy.
And I was like, oh, we're talking about that tomorrow. And we were like, maybe we'll cover that in the future.
Wow.
Look at us.
So that was a jump scare.
Yeah, I can imagine. I had no idea Bubble got mentioned.
Yeah, you were
Before.
just talking about, like, just being on, be like, maybe sometime in, like, the next year or so we'll talk about it. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Wow. And
And it
that's
took
what,
2 years. But we
2
got there.
years. Yeah, we got there.
Yeah.
So that's something to look. I'm saying looking forward to. That's the episode that's just come out last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, that was last week.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, people have seen it. So just for our, dynamic, we weren't wanting to like push to kind of talk about any specific topics. I don't think we would necessarily have the right. I don't know how to put it, but the flow of a podcast.
That's what I want to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do more Reddit reading stuff here. I have a couple of options from BestofRedditor Updates. And I think
you know what we should do one time? Anime-related Reddit threads.
Oh.
that's gonna be cringe.
You
Yeah,
really
but,
want to
like,
open that can of
No,
worms?
is there a thing where it's like, oh, like Emma the Asshole, but it's like related to anime topics? Like, is Emma the Asshole breaking up with my girlfriend because she doesn't like my favorite thing?
There is one, and I can't remember if we read it on an episode before, but one where the boyfriend was like, "Am I the asshole because I didn't like my girlfriend's cosplay or something like that?" And it was because she had like
Oh yeah, I remember that.
burn or like scar tissue on her chest.
Yeah, I remember. I think she had a mastectomy or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, she had a double mastectomy, I think. And so she had scars there, and she did like a a cosplay of a character who had sort of like some bare chest there, and he kind of wasn't a fan of that. I think that may have been on an episode before.
No, I
we
think
did.
Yeah.
That's the only one off the top of my head I can think of. There's one I have here on my saved, that's like, am I the asshole because every girl I meet I want to be into The Legend of Zelda, but that's only really like anime adjacent. I haven't come across too many, but like for me researching these sort of episodes to find like things to read can swing one of two ways. Either I find really interesting stuff, or like the other night when I was looking at to build enough up for a true off my chest themed episode way later, and some of the shit on that subreddit is depressing because it is just people like venting. There's a lot less rules around it than like, am I the asshole? So people will just go on and be like, yeah, I got raped, and it's like, holy shit. Okay.
Right, yeah.
So yeah.
Let's turn the tone a bit lighter today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just go back from that.
Yes. So we're gonna walk back from that. And we've got some better Redditor update things here. I think the way we're gonna do this is we're remote, as I mentioned. If I'm reading it and there's something you wanna interject with, just say pause and I'll pause reading, and then we'll talk about whatever it is, just so it's not like super chaotic. Okay, so I have a couple of options because I don't know how long some of these are going to take, so I'll give some options and we'll see where we go from there. So the first one I have saved here for Best of Redditor Updates is, am I the asshole for wanting a divorce because my husband insisted that my boobs were fake?
Okay.
Then we have my girlfriend, 24 female of 3 months, never cuddles with me because with me, 27 male, since she has always been a non-cuddler. And when we recently went on vacation, she slept on the spare bed in the hotel room to avoid sleeping with me. And then we've got my family forgot to invite me to my grandparents' funeral, but they are convinced I was there. So which of those three?
I kind of like the funeral one, but like,
I'm gravitating first to the fake boobs.
That's a good one as well.
Like,
yeah,
there's all these, like, you can say yes or no to that. He's like, no, I know they're fake. I'm like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, my guy.
There's not much beyond. Are they fake? No. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, like,
is he like, you're lying about this?
Yeah.
Why would I do that? I don't.
Do you want like a license? A warrant?
Okay, we'll start with this one. Do you want the trigger warnings? Because Best of Redditor Updates has like a trigger warning section.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we got
our benefit and the benefits of any listeners.
Yeah, so we got trigger warnings for body shaming, emotional abuse, and sexism.
Okay.
Which, given the title, given the title, I feel like those kind of make sense. Unfortunately,
the expected ones.
So, oh shit, this is recent.
How recent?
The original post is from March 22nd, 2024.
Wow.
Not even a whole 2 months old. It's like a week away.
Yeah.
So
at the time of recording.
Yeah, at the time we're recording this. So once it comes out, just about 3 months coming
Probably,
up.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Okay. So
then.
Here we go. I, 30 female, do have very large boobs. A 38G to be specific. I don't know if that's an American, because I know American, UK, and like Europe have like different. It can depend.
It's barely different.
Is it barely different?
In the UK, you do the same deal as the US.
Oh, okay. I thought they were slightly different. From how it had been explained to me at one point, I was like, oh, okay.
Just G's.
G's, they're okay.
Don't elaborate.
Yeah.
I've been with my husband, 33 female, for about 10 years, and while we have no children together, we are happy. Recently, he's been checking out my body more than before, and I don't mean in a let me take you to bed kind of way. It's more of a what could you be hiding kind of way.
Gosh.
That's a little flutter flag right there.
Yeah. Now I am by no means skinny. I am 5'5" and 180 pounds, nowhere near as good as I could be, but I really don't have any motivation and don't care as long as I don't look like I haven't showered in months and choose to be like that.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Hold on, pounds to...
Usually like half-ish.
Yeah.
Kilogram. Oh wait, you do stone, don't
Stones.
Yeah,
5.7... That's not...
Yeah.
That's light as fuck.
Yeah, that's not
you?
bad.
She's 5'4".
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, sorry, 12... Just under 13. Not, like, super heavy or anything. I forgot the one. I thought I hit the one. Yeah, that's not, like, super heavy, I don't think.
Yeah, that's not bad.
For 5'5", and, like, if she's a 38G, that's adding some weight. So, you know...
I think it's about 1.5 kilograms each. Again, I wouldn't have known.
Wow.
Wow.
So you're looking at like 3.
Holy shit. That's quite a lot to add on to the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So... Now I have a multitude of scars on my body, and my husband noticed. One is under my armpit, which I got from running up the stairs with my friend and scraping it against the corner of the railing in my old house. The second one, I'm not even sure where it came from. It's so thin, so I'd assume from my childhood cat, but it goes down my side about 4 inches and on my rib cage. Okay, my husband has been getting into more shows about spouses lying to their partners about things, which I do enjoy watching myself. So she's also watching these, but you know, we know what men are like.
Yeah.
My husband randomly came up to me and started feeling up on my boobs, which isn't out of the ordinary, but still random.
Yeah.
I asked him what he was doing, and he said, "How could you lie to me like that?"
Immediately assume lie, not even asking.
Wow. I asked about what?
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining this guy, like, hands
Yeah,
on
he's just like,
why would you lie to me?
Wrong.
I asked what about, and he said, my boobs. I said, my boobs are real, what are you talking about? He says, no they're not, and that I have 2 scars by my boobs that clearly show I have a boob job. I told him that's not how it works, and usually they cut under for that. Yeah. He said they cut on the side as well, and that I'm a liar for not telling him. What? What is happening?
Man is determined to create drama.
I just love this guy's like, you had surgery, so like, I swear to God, my God, I don't know what to tell you, but I didn't, unless someone did it while I was out.
Yeah. I told him I wasn't lying and that he was being weird. Cue an argument about them, and I left with our cats to my friend's house. The exact friend I'd gotten hurt with.
Thanks for the notice.
Thanks for
the notice. Friend that I fell down the stairs with.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks for letting us know that you took the cats, and that it's the friend from previously you mentioned.
It's you know, an interconnected universe.
Yeah. Real details, you know.
Yeah.
I explained what happened to her, and she called my husband and yelled at him. His mother also yelled at him for that, but his dad is on his side.
Dad's just like, fake. Fake.
Just the dad just be like, yeah, no.
I gotta check too.
Nope.
After I agreed to come back home, he said he'd forgive me if I just admit they were fake. Holy fuck, man.
Right.
I told him that they weren't, and that you'd seen me when I was skinny, and could tell it was because of my weight gain. I assume she's talking about, like, size type thing.
Yeah.
He brings him up all the time. I had to go to my house, my home state, and stay for 6 months because of my grandmother, who sadly passed away. My family does eat a lot of fattening foods, and when I left for home, I was 125, and when I came back, I was almost 150. Those eating habits transferred over at my home life, and I never really got back into my healthy eating lifestyle. He continued to pester me about my boobs, and so I told him I wanted a divorce or separation at least.
Just gotta stop.
He backpedaled and begged me not to, but I made up my mind. He called me numerous times after I'd left for a week, crying and begging me to come home. I told him no, and that if he couldn't leave it alone, I wouldn't come back. He started throwing insulting names at me, to which I hung up. Now his friends and girl best friend are calling me an asshole for wanting a divorce over a simple issue. So am I the asshole?
He's making a big deal out of it.
Yeah. It's
and other people are like, "You're being an asshole. You're making a deal out of it."
I'm also gonna send you a link just because if it sounds like I'm tripping up quite a bit, just you gotta read what the fuck I'm reading, because this is horrifically written. I'm having
it did sound like it from how you were reading it, yeah.
I'm having to interpret what the actual sentence is meant to say sometimes. There's just words that are wrong. Not to insult their writing or anything.
Yeah. Wait, okay, so they've been together for 10 years. Yes. I see that in the top comments bit.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so he thinks that... So she's now 33?
Yeah, so they've been... she's 30, so they've been together since she was 28 and he was 23.
Okay, no doctor in the right mind is going to get a 20-year-old a boob job.
Yeah.
Unless it's to make it smaller, they're never going to do that.
Yeah. I don't know when he's accusing her of having had it, but it makes it sound like it's been recently. Yeah. With like the fact that
6 months she spent at home.
Maybe
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But she's flat out said that it's because of the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a couple top comments. It also mentions here, because this isn't "Am I the asshole?" Because there's two "Am I the asshole" subreddits. There's AITA and then there's AITAH, which is the same but has less rules.
Yeah.
And so it mentions here that it doesn't have a consensus bot, but the original poster was determined to be not the asshole. And then we've got some top comments. One says, "He's been with you 10 years. Why is he now asking if they're fake?" OOP said, someone else said, his dad sided with him. Mother of Christ, the stupid apple doesn't fall far from the stupid tree. Another person says, simple issue. First he calls you a liar, then doubles down and refuses to listen to your friend and demands you apologize. This guy isn't worthy of your boobs, not the asshole.
Which is the most Redditor response, by the way.
Yeah. Update. This one is...
Wait.
What?
How many guys do you think are in her DMs?
So many. So many.
Pixar didn't happen. Come on.
Oh my god. I was looking up above to see if sometimes they link the original post as well, and I don't see that here. Maybe it's been deleted or something, I'm not sure. But I've just seen editor's note, added paragraph breaks for readability. So it already sucks to read. But it also did not have paragraphs originally. Oh, hold on.
It was just a block.
I got the link to the original post right here.
Oh, it looks like someone on that thread has added paragraph breaks too.
God.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So there's another comment here on the actual original post. They're real and they're spectacular.
Redditor moment.
Yup. Oh. So yeah, that's the original post, March 22nd. We fast forward to April 1st.
Ooh.
So not even a whole 2 weeks. That's
yeah, that's just over a week.
Yeah. I just want to thank you all for the support, for the messages and the comments, but the amount of people asking to see my boobs is pretty concerning.
Yeah.
Yep.
As soon as any woman mentions the fact, I have boobs bigger than a D, they're like, thanks.
Yeah, their inbox are invaded.
even if they weren't that big, like if they just mentioned them, people would be like, pics?
Pics?
Yeah.
Along with the two asking to date me or wanting to take me out, but again, thank you for the offer. And to clear something up, when I posted this, I'd already been with my friend for 3 days. Nobody asked, really.
Okay.
No.
So it hasn't been that long, and I decided to go back home to really talk it out since someone said someone may be saying something to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe someone that he just met or
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Like, no way your wife is
Oh.
boobs that big. She's lying.
Is this better not come back to the manosphere again?
I was terrified the moment that I thought about it.
I talked to him about it, and his answer constantly changed from no one made him think that to I'd seen something that said they're making implants that feel more real,
Okay, here we go.
which I've never seen anything saying they were, to finally telling me the truth, which was his co-workers were telling him. I asked him how he Yep. I asked him how he could think that, knowing he's seen my body change, and he said he didn't know. Bro.
I mean, I don't want to say men do get distracted. And it's like, oh, I didn't notice he gained weight. Like,
True.
shit like that I can believe.
Yeah.
I
Like,
also
oh, I
think if
didn't
you're
know
like
it.
spending a lot of time with someone, the changes.
You don't notice.
Yeah, especially if it happens
Yeah, they're not
progressively
natural.
over time.
Absolutely.
He showed me the picture of us. He showed his co-workers where I was wearing a waist trainer and a bodycon dress. While you could still tell I had some weight in my stomach, but still a lot in my boobs. I rolled my eyes as I set the picture down and stared at him. He eventually told me that his co-workers were telling him so much that they were fake, and when he mentioned my scars, it caused him to believe it more.
Jesus Christ.
I said,
dude.
so you'd believe your co-workers who you've known for 6 months and know how they act around women over your wife of 10 years. He eventually broke down crying,
Yeah, he should.
which was pretty uncomfortable, but then he said he'd do anything to make me forgive him. Fucking of course he would. I asked him why would he still think that about me even after feeling them, and he said because he didn't want to admit he was wrong and have me hang it over his head. Okay, but he never needed to express this to her.
Yeah.
I will admit I have done that a few times, like when he bleached his whole...
What?
His whole.
I will
Did
admit
he?
I have done that a few times, like when he bleached his whole load by mistake. Because there were two white shirts in the load. Sorry, Jesus.
Yeah.
The way it's...
I was convinced this guy bleached his ass.
Same. Same.
Well, it says
Fuck.
bleached his whole load.
Yeah.
No
It's
extra
just
context.
pubes. He just-
It's like, what load?
What do you mean by that?
Mistake, because there were two white shirts in the load and he thought adding bleach would be fine. And another time he was messing with the cat after they'd healed from being neutered and were spraying everywhere. Not a fun 6 months, and got sprayed in the face. Okay.
I mean, that's kind of fun.
That is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I told him that I wanted to find a new job and couples therapy, like some of you had suggested. He agreed immediately and began drafting his 2-week notice. Oh, I wanted him to find a new job. Okay. I thought she meant she wanted to find a new job for a second. Began drafting his 2 weeks notice. We both make enough and have enough saved to go without jobs for at least a month and a half, since we have separate finances and a joint account for bills. We both make over 100k a year. Why is it always the fucking... a year with me in human resources and my husband working in medical. Way to bury the fucking lead!
Yeah.
They work in medical and they are...
Watch him be a fucking plastic surgeon as well.
Oh my god. Also, she works in human resources and fucking writes like this.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Where was I? So when my husband had an office party for one of the boss's birthday, I wanted to talk to the co-workers who told him what they thought.
Girl, no.
When I saw them, I was personally not that shocked. They were decently in-shape men, but still not as good as they could have been, with beautiful wives who'd clearly had work done. Nothing crazy, just filler and Botox. That's kind of crazy. While my husband was giving his notice to his boss, not the one whose birthday it was.
The other one.
The other one.
Thanks for that little detail once again. We didn't need to know.
Cool.
Yeah. I went to talk to them and their wives. Their wives were shocked that their husbands had said about me and began to quietly chew into them about that, since I assumed they were the reason the wives got some work done. I could be wrong though, but still, my husband and I enjoyed the rest of the party and went home. That's a bold assumption to make.
Yeah.
Very bold. The next day, my husband was pestering me to go into work. I'm able to work from home or in the building, so I agreed after some questioning and went in. Okay, you want to tell us what the questioning was?
Yeah, what's the
kind
question?
of important.
When I came home, he was nowhere to be found.
Oh my god.
But the entire apartment was deep cleaned, like I'd been wanting to do. Lunch was made, and all the cat appliances like litter boxes, food, and water bowls and cat stand had been deeply cleaned as well. Did he fucking kill someone?
Yeah.
After about 20 minutes... after about 20 minutes of me looking around, my husband came back home. He was a little upset I'd come home earlier than he had wanted since the carpet wasn't completely dry. He'd cleaned it with a rug cleaner like I'd wanted. This is sounding like... I know he's maybe just doing it to make up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
I am
doing.
100%.
Like, I'm sorry.
It's just sounding like... It's really putting me on edge. The way she's...
He just comes back in like blood-covered shirts. You're not supposed to be
It's like a bin bag, but like it's just covered. It's got blood stuff.
Yeah.
What's that?
You're early.
He made my favorite...
You're sending emails later.
He'd made my favorite food that my grandma had made since after the funeral. I'd inherited a cookbook and some money. Again,
Okay.
not relevant.
Amazing girl.
You know, she mentioned the cookbook because, like a recipe, this has nothing to do with what you're actually looking for.
Yeah.
No.
I get mentioning the cookbook. I don't get mentioning the money.
Money.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
My husband then gave...
Like, that's a humble brag.
Yeah. My husband then gave me a few of my favourite flowers, which are hibiscus flowers.
Yeah.
Again, with the fucking relevancy. And a small handwritten note. He used to do it all the time in college when I did an exchange program in Brazil for fun. Again.
There were so many random little details.
It was a full apology.
So American.
Yeah, it really is. It was a full apology saying how sorry he was and that he should have known to distance himself from his co-workers and should have stopped them from talking about me in a bad light. A little too late.
Yeah, a little late.
I smiled and thanked him for the flowers and continued eating. Okay. After I'd finished, he'd cleaned the kitchen for me and took me upstairs and ran a bath for me. He's gonna fucking kill her.
Yeah.
Oh god, no.
And picked out some comfy...
He's the one writing the story.
It's now from his perspective. Ran a bath for me and picked out some comfy clothes for me and gave me a full body massage without it ending in sex.
Okay.
What a man.
Okay. Later, after he'd taken me out to dinner and paid for it all, he always does, but it's still good to mention.
Is it?
No, we didn't need to
No.
know. You're married for 10 years. Don't care.
And when we'd gotten home, we did end up having sex, but it was better than usual.
I forgot.
Oh, watch
We're
her
getting
try to
detailed
describe
into
another thing.
into it now.
Girl, what's your point now? Where are you going with
But
this?
if it just ends after like, yeah, he made it up for it, I'm gonna be pissed.
All focus was on me instead of the both of us. I didn't have to give him head. Okay, girl.
Again, we don't need this.
Yeah, this is turning into a really different post. Can you stop?
And after I was completely satisfied, the act was over, even if he didn't finish. Girl,
Okay.
stop, please. After that, he'd cleaned me up. I'm gonna throw up.
Need that.
This is not the kind of Reddit reading I thought we
Yeah. I didn't expect it to go this way.
No.
No.
And he got me something to drink. I asked him why his aftercare was different than usual. It was usually a kiss and cuddling. He then said that he wanted to do more in order for me to forgive him.
No. Yeah.
He then gave me an even longer apology, saying that even after all of this, I don't have to forgive him, and he knows he was being stupid for not admitting he was wrong and not backing down, but he'd do anything to get me to not divorce him, even if it meant being a stay-at-home husband. I forgot about the divorce thing because of the amount of shit she said.
Yeah.
I laughed, since he was usually the one wanting to be the breadwinner and wanting me to be a stay-at-home wife, which is... oh fuck.
Jeez.
Which is why I work from home for the most part, so I can still have my own money. I told him that I do forgive him, and as long as he finds another job and we get therapy, it was fine, and I wouldn't divorce or do separation. He continued...
I think therapy is needed.
Yeah, therapy is very much needed. I think even he needs therapy outside of the couple's therapy.
Separately.
Yeah.
So does she, by the sounds of it, too.
Yeah.
He continuously thanked me and said he thought I'd never forgive him. I said I thought I was being a little overdramatic when I said a divorce, but it's fine. I didn't mention my post on what to do, and we're happy again. Our therapy session is scheduled in the next few days, and we're bringing the cats back home.
Hooray!
That's it.
Thank you again
to
to everyone who gave me advice and did say I was doing a little too much by wanting a divorce, and I hope you're all happy. You did a little too much in this update by just
we didn't
did not need the amount of information. So we got a couple of top comments here just to wrap it all up. I'm cynical and see that whole thing as love bombing, but I genuinely hope for the future goes well for you. Then we got
kind of my thought actually by the end of this.
Then the last one here is I'm glad he's taking accountability and admitting that he was wrong. The only thing I'm still thrown off about is the fact that he called you names and berated you when you... I totally forgot about that too. When you mentioned a divorce. I really hope that doesn't become a habit and come into future arguments, because that can turn into verbal abuse. I'm glad you guys are doing okay right now, though. To be fair, they are going to go to therapy, couples therapy, so hopefully that the whole name calling thing is something that gets worked out during all of that.
Hopefully the future's brighter.
Yeah. The top comment on the actual like Best of Redditor page here is, I'm glad that there was a happy ending, but god, that guy is dumb.
Yeah. Like, I see posts like similar to this. Like, recently I saw a post of this girl who talked about that men come up to her and they're like, wow, you're such a natural beauty. They don't make girls like you these days. And then she was like, I have had so much work done. And any woman would be able to tell. Yeah. Not derogatorily or anything, but just would be able to tell. But for men, it's just apparently over their heads. Like,
yeah, I'd say like for some guys for sure, like they just don't know, like they have no concept, I think.
No.
Yeah, it's just completely alien.
Yeah, you know, women come with eyeshadow on them. That's how. Yeah.
They're just they hatch from the egg like that.
Yeah, exactly.
like little baby dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
God.
So
I like the comment right under that one you just talked about, where it's like, I'd lose a lot of respect from the feeling I have about OOP's husband are the same feelings I have about the guy who thought his daughter wasn't his because she looked like his wife.
We need to find
like that. I just read that and I was like, oh my god.
So I think it's arranged slightly differently for you, because I don't see that one. Oh no, I see. Sorry, I had collapsed the replies.
Yeah, it's just under that one, like in the thread.
What? Hold on, have you seen the one below that?
Yeah, I've just read it now.
I don't have the page pulled up.
Or the recent. Okay. So there was obviously the one about, like, you know, a guy who thought his daughter wasn't his because she looked like his wife. Then someone else replies, or the recent one who claimed his daughter wasn't his because he wanted a son so much his swimmers wouldn't dare make a girl.
That's fucked up.
Imagine if women could, though.
Oh my god.
It's like mentally sending the girl beam.
I love that. Like, they're like, oh, her cheek is so unnatural. It has to be fake. It's not.
No, it's not.
No.
Like, even that uncommon, really, I don't think.
Common, I'd say. I mean, I could go on a whole rant about how most don't know their own. I won't.
That's a common thing I hear, is that like actually getting the correct size is something most people don't go to the effort to do, and they're not either getting the right support or they're not getting something comfortable enough for them. But yeah,
it's a whole thing. Yeah, like legit women complain like, oh, bro, this one come. Well, you want to know why?
That's because you're not wearing.
You're not got the right one.
I know it's a very weirdly intimate thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not really, but you just gotta kind of get through
You
it.
kind of have to for your own like well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some people wear ones and they're like, oh man, it's they're so uncomfortable, or like I'm having so many problems, and it's like, well, you're wearing one that offers you like no support.
Yeah. And like, it's not a good thing to skimp on.
No.
And like, I understand budgetary reasons and all.
Yeah.
I mean, some
like,
of them do get expensive.
Yeah, because
you
can make money off that.
I'll tell you the fun fact that I pay about
50.
100.
No.
What?
Per. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit, man.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
triple digits.
Yeah, that's actually the most I've ever heard anyone. I don't want to make that sound like that's a common conversation I have, but like
yeah, but like
hey girls, what's up?
You know, when you're adults, like generally it's like people live with these things, and so like eventually stuff just becomes like, when you know people, like that's not even something that, you know,
it shouldn't be this awkward.
Yeah,
really, because
it's like, yeah.
I think the most I've ever heard most people pay per is like 60. I think.
Yeah.
It also depends like on your size.
Yeah, I was gonna say
my
that.
My size isn't carried in most stores.
Yeah.
It's not like I have options here. But yeah.
So that's
love boob talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day I'm gonna have a girls only episode.
With who? Just you talking into the void?
One day. Why don't you guys just get girlfriends? I mean, I can do that.
Wow.
Come on.
Because
you do your boys episode with Manuel, and I'll get whoever. Story.
Next. Sorry. Okay, so we've still got the non-cuddler girlfriend one. We've got family forgot to invite me to my grandparents' funeral.
Just like in between, I just gotta like go to
every fucking time, man.
I know, I'm sorry. Just give me a sec.
I just love the image when she describes, like, yeah, I was wearing a waist, like, essentially a corset.
Yeah.
And a bodycon dress, so, like, a tight dress. And they're like, that has to be fake. It's like, what?
Yeah. I had to, like, try and conjure up the mental image, because I've never heard anyone call it bodycon before. It took me a while to realize that meant, like, body constricting type dress.
That's a thing, isn't it? That's something called body constricting is a fashion choice. Ooh.
That wouldn't that mean that she's just basically spilling everywhere, like from up here?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like with corsets, you have some.
Yeah.
It's pushed up higher, so it looks
prominent.
And especially if you wear a fucking waist trainer.
Yeah. That's why I'm thinking that like they're barely gonna be contained at that point. Like,
again, if you have the right size bra, it's fine.
If you know how to work it.
Yes.
Also, I heard the tiny bladder comment. Fuck you. Just getting that out there.
Stop drinking energy drinks.
Ow!
I've had two, and I'm fine. I've just went in between episodes.
I'm built worse.
Not different. Worse. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah.
I'm just built worse, dude.
I'm built worse.
Okay, so.
You wanna clap?
Okay, that'll remind me to cut that there.
Yeah. Forcing you to edit.
So our next episode next story. Sorry.
Episode.
Next story.
Yes.
We've still got non-cuddler girlfriend. My family forgot to invite me to my grandparents' funeral. We got a couple other ones that I don't think are as interesting. I think we should go with the funeral one. This one's kind of long. I think there's 5 updates, maybe.
Okay. That'll fill the episode.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just send you guys the link like straight away if you wanna like have it up as well.
You wanna have a read along?
Yeah.
I've read some of this, if not all of it. It does have a fairly happy ending.
Oh, it looks fairly.
So the trigger warnings for this one: death of loved ones, emotional manipulation, gaslighting, and harassment.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll find out.
I love how they're like, we're gonna gaslight this person to believing they were there. Like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I fucking wasn't.
No, genuinely.
Yeah.
Moving all over.
I don't want to spoil anything, but genuinely that was part of their plan.
Wow. Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So this is: my family forgot to invite me to my grandparents' funeral because they are convinced I was there. This original post starts November 14th, 2023. So this is actually still fairly recent too. Because a lot of Best Redditor Update posts come from like, you know, years gone by type thing.
Yeah.
So I'm 30s female and caused a major blow up in my family, and now none of them are talking to me. For background, my hometown is tiny, 500 population. That is very small. Holy shit.
Yeah, that is small.
And
Bigger than my hometown.
And when I went 2 hours away to the city, quote unquote, 15,000 population, that ain't a city. That's a town.
Nah.
For college, I loved it. I ended up staying after graduation, got married, and I'm happy. I'm happy here for a decade. I visit my hometown every few weeks or so, call or text my family near daily, and thought we were all good. My family's pretty small, just my brother, mum, stepdad, dad, stepmum, an aunt, and uncle. That's not small.
Yeah, no, it's pretty
You
simple.
got an extra set of parents there because of the divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mum's sibling, never married, no kids. Oh, an uncle. Mum's sibling.
So she has an aunt and an uncle. They're not related.
Okay.
They're not married.
Right.
They are the sister and the brother of
Okay,
mom.
that makes sense. My mother's grandparents moved to my hometown when I was in high school and were just down the street from us. My family has always been pretty drama-free, aside from my parents' divorce when I was a kid, and we've been happy. The step-parents are blended in perfectly, and we share holidays and celebrations together. We are all super close and just the perfect little group. Okay, that's actually, for, divorced parents, like, the fact that they're, like, still a unit is quite, not uncommon, but, not super common either, I'd say.
Healthy.
Ever since I moved away, the topic of when am I moving back is constant, and I always laughed it off. My hometown was nothing. You have to drive 30 minutes for milk and bread, 60 to 90 minutes one-way commutes to work, and floods shut down the main road every Easter. I love the town, but I love here more. I have parks, stores, community events, a library. The city is great. The town. You live in a fucking town. Come on.
Yeah.
My family grumbles that I need to move back, but I refuse. I've been trying to encourage them to come here, especially since it's not an hour drive to the nearest medical facility. Now to the meat and potatoes.
That's responsible.
Yeah, that's, she's thinking ahead.
Yeah, like, my parents give me this conversation all the time. It's like, when you come back. But they recognize if I am to come back to the Netherlands, I'm not going to live in my...
Yeah.
No.
Because there's, like, no
You're your
other
own person
way
at this point.
for me to
Yeah.
work. But they're like, we'll take any place in this country at this point.
Now to the meat and potatoes. Both my grandparents passed away over COVID times. Well, that's a shame.
Sorry for the loss.
Yeah. They were both old and their health had been failing for a while, so it was only a matter of time. Thankfully they didn't catch it, but it made visiting them impossible, and we survived mostly through FaceTime. They both passed in their sleeps months apart, but were cremated and kept securely under the kitchen sink for safekeeping while the pandemic blew over. That was 2021.
We'll just store them right here.
Just next to the bleach.
Yeah, of course.
Keep their souls clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. weird place to keep them. What about like a mantle place or something, you know? On the
Or just
windowsill.
like maybe like in
Maybe
the
they
bed
weren't
in a
in high
bedroom
school.
somewhere.
Yeah, like a cabinet.
They were just bags.
Yeah.
You don't want the bags of ashes. Just
I would assume they're in like temporary urns or something.
Yeah, they're in something.
I mean, they mentioned just in the next sentence, like they wanted to scatter the ashes. Why bother?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, you're reading ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
Sorry.
Well, I just found out my family. Wait. Oh, yeah. Well, I just found out my family held a funeral for them and scattered the ashes in my uncle's maple grove over the summer. No one said a word to me about it. I visited numerous times before and after, and not one word. I only found out because my great uncle from California posted on Facebook a few weeks ago that he is entering hospice and was so thankful his health stayed strong enough for him to see his little sister, my grandma, to her final resting place. I was confused and called my mum. She was all, yeah, the funeral we had in July, remember? Y'all, I visited them for the 4th of July. They did the funeral the 8th.
Wow.
Fucker.
Fucking hell.
Not a word about it to me. They had planned this for months, long enough to arrange for my infirm great uncle to be brought over from the other side of the country. Apparently, they talked about it all the time. Everyone is convinced I was at the funeral. They swear I was there. I can prove I wasn't because Google's got my location history. Google can do that. Google does that.
I mean, if you leave a review for a place,
okay.
shit like that.
My husband is baffled because he supposedly was there too, but he had to work every weekend in June and July. Time clock doesn't lie.
Yep.
It's a weird way of saying it.
The numbers don't lie.
They spell
disaster for you and sacrifice.
My family straight up forgot about me. I'm hurt, I'm sad, and they're pissed at me for lying. They think I'm causing drama over nothing. Nothing I say can convince them I wasn't there. My family is united in this, and they've put me all on red until I admit I'm wrong. Wow.
By the way, that or lying and on red are both in air quotes.
Yeah. They think I've gone nuts. Either there's a doppelganger of me attending events, or my family doesn't want to admit they screwed up. I'm not backing down.
Anti-OP.
Yeah.
The shadow of the truth.
Thanksgiving is coming up, and my family's been vague posting on Facebook about forgetful kids, quote unquote, and mental health. It's so freaking weird, and I don't know if I'm in Bizarro World or what's going on. My mom's best friend reached out and said I should just admit I was wrong and apologise, that I'm causing my mum so much unnecessary stress. I asked her if she's checked everyone's home for CO2. She hung up on me. I mean, yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
It's quite we checked our CO2 and our testers are running just fine.
Smart.
Why?
I mean, if I thought, like, if someone was trying to gaslight me this much, I would check. Because I'm like, am I going insane? Is this thing, like, triggering?
I don't know. Maybe it's because our I don't know if their CO2 meters act differently from ours. But you know if yours isn't working, here in the UK anyway, and our specific one that we've had for years, like, you know if it's not working correctly. Like, unless you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I have reached out to a few people in my hometown to check in on my folks, and they all say they're fine. I even spoke with the local volunteer firefighter group to see if they could check for gas leaks. Not sure if they were able to. This is so American. Like, just...
Yep.
I don't know what to do. I've shown them proof I wasn't there, but they know I'm tech savvy, and just assume I photoshopped it.
That's not how that works. I can't just say Photoshop and act like that's just gonna just prove everything false.
Boomers, man. Husband says we need a break, and we're going to be staying home this holiday season. Edit, I don't know the update rules, so I'll update to my profile should anyone want them. Okay, so yeah, that was November 14th, 2023.
My current thought, I'd cut them off. At this point, I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
If you don't want to believe me, you could... If you would rather have a forgetful kid, or just none, because I'm cutting you off. I'm not dealing with this.
I think that's the route she goes. I think she goes low contact with them.
Yeah, definitely low
Rightfully
contact.
so,
It does it does go in a direction. It's nothing bad. But yeah, it's this develops into a really bizarre story that's actually, it's quite mundane for the most part, but it's quite interesting. So we'll move on to update number 1, which was about 2 weeks later on November 27th, 2023.
Quite a short update as well.
Yeah. Not sure how to update on posts, so I figured I'd post anything on my profile. Folks have private messaged me, and this will be easier, I think. Oh, folks as in like people. I thought she meant her folks.
Yeah.
Nah, just folks.
It's the 27th of November and Thanksgiving just happened. Husband and I stayed home. We got a small turkey and made our own little Thanksgiving. It was nice. We ate around noon, then watched a movie, and later sat outside with a bottle of wine to watch the sunset behind the trees in neighbours' houses. That's actually really nice, yeah.
Yeah.
We have no concept of Thanksgiving. That's the thing.
No
idea what the general...
No.
You know,
as far as I'm aware, it's some sort of dinner in autumn.
I think it's Christmas, but a couple of weeks early.
Yeah, I think it's the best way to
it's
look at it.
dinner.
God bless Americans having to put up with their family around their table for fucking 2 occasions within a month.
Yeah.
And Canadians.
Yeah. We usually take the day before off, drive to my folks, stay the night, and help with the Thanksgiving Day cooking. So it wasn't until Wednesday night that my mum broke the silence. Mum called and asked when I was showing up, and I told her we were staying home this year, but for them to have a happy Thanksgiving, and to give the rest of the family my love. She was quiet for a long time after I said that, and I think she eventually mumbled an okay or something and hung up. It wasn't an angry hang up, just a hang up. On Thanksgiving Day, I sent a group Happy Thanksgiving gif to our family group chat. I received a few Happy Thanksgivings back. No one said anything else. There's been no posts on Facebook. I mean, it was only 2 weeks, so...
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So yeah, well, we've...
Not much there.
No, we fast forward another 2-ish weeks for update number 2 here, which is December 12th, 2023. So I think I mentioned in one of my comments... Oh, okay, so because of the way Best of Redditor Updates works is that if there were... Usually they put top comments under posts, but as they add updates to them, they take top comments off of previous posts, and it's only the most recent post that has top comments. So it's maybe that eventually that it was posted at one point with the comment, but we just need to go with whatever she's saying.
Okay.
So I think I mentioned in one of my comments that my dad and I usually talk on the phone every Sunday morning. We're both early risers, so we chat over our morning coffees and watch the sunrise. Him and I haven't really spoken since this all went down, and it's been tough. I'm just used to talking to him, you know? Well, I was sitting outside in my usual spot watching the sunrise and freezing my butt off, and he called me. I'm not entirely sure how to describe the emotions I felt. It was a mix of panic, hope, terror, happiness, and dread. I ended up answering because I just had to know what he wanted. It was an awkward conversation. He didn't address the current drama, quote unquote, and punched my microphone, but instead tiptoed around the situation with all the grace of a cow on stilts. Beautiful image.
Beautiful.
For instance, a simple "How are you?" Type question was answered with a "Not good."
Fair enough.
Yeah, it could be better.
This is a man who did not grow up with proper communication skills. And the whole conversation would stall out for a bit because he knew why I wasn't doing well. Oh, she said that.
He said not good.
Wow.
Oh.
She's also the one that danced around it with the grace of a cow on stilts. Jesus. So we ended up talking.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
So we ended up talking about the weather, the various winter birds we'd seen in our feeders, and the Christmas decorations around town, things like that. Eventually, he asked if we were coming out for Christmas, and sounded sad when I told him we weren't. He asked if him and stepmom could come visit us instead. I told him it wasn't a good idea this year. That husband and I were going to spend a quiet holiday together. I let him know he should be receiving some gifts at his PO box any day now. So please pick them up from the post office and put them under the family tree for everyone. He said he'd ship ours to us as well. And that was pretty much it. No crazy drama to report. The only posts on Facebook have been their usual Christmas excitement ones, countdowns, photos of Santa, silly gift ideas, photos of company Christmas parties. On a personal note, husband and I are doing all right. Our health is good, our spirits high, and we're as solid as ever. We each got Christmas bonuses at our job, so we're excited about that. They're not large, but we're happy to have them. Nice one, yeah. Extra cash. We have also done advent calendars for the first time ever. I got him a Lego one and he got me a hot chocolate one. That's amazing. We're going to do the calendars next year. Again, next year, maybe make a tradition of it. I'm okay. Yeah.
Not necessary to mention, but that's...
I think it's sweet.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that this is the first time they've done them together.
Yeah, I was about to ask, do Americans not do advent calendars regularly?
I assume that maybe as like a family, but I assume since these two have been together, they haven't done it, which is really bizarre to me, because that's like an instant thing I would start doing, you know? It's different, Melina, you're from the Netherlands, where you do it ass backwards, so...
Wow!
Okay!
You and your wrong celebration.
I mean, your Christmas is what, the 5th?
Putting it early in the
6th?
month like a freak.
5th.
But it's not, like, some people still celebrate Santa, which I think is stupid, because you have the one on the 5th that's just a nightmare.
Just logistically.
Yeah, it does.
Logistically, imagine that as a parent.
Oh, I couldn't.
Yeah. I mean, I get that.
Mhm.
Anyway, freak.
Thanks, yeah.
Not like you've probably had it for a long time before us.
Freak. Different from ours. Freak.
Okay, so we have our next update, which actually has a title.
We have 4 days.
Which is
4 days
4 days later and has the title of
Yeah.
Inheritance. December 16th,
no.
2023.
A name like that.
I'm concerned. I don't remember what this is about. I've received a lot of messages in private DMs urging me to check into Inheritance and such. Oh, okay. So it's maybe more just other people are concerned about it.
I think, no, what they mean is, like, are you supposed to get Inheritance?
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
the fact that, like, that was the title of the update is concerning because it sounds like they might have been, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm really touched a lot of internet strangers are worried about me, and I wanted to ensure everyone that that inheritance is most likely not an issue here. I'd almost be relieved if it was, because then it would at least make some sense. Yeah. Money does weird things to people, you know? No one in my family is wealthy by any means. After our grandparents passed, their small estate was used to pay for their end-of-life expenses, and remaining assets split up. Everyone directly related got an equal split, so excluded my dad and the step-parents. I don't remember the exact amount I received, but it was around $5,000 if I recall. My brother gave me his share too, so I could finish paying off my college debt while the interest freeze was active. Wow, okay, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
The great uncle from California has kids and grandkids and great grandkids of his own, and also isn't wealthy. I think one of his kids makes good money doing something in finance, but I'm not entirely sure. I can't imagine he left us anything, as we hardly knew him. My mom, aunt, and uncle only met him a few times in their lives, and my brother and I even less. Grandma and him were close, but I don't think he liked my grandpa very much. Wow.
Well,
that's the end of that one. Okay.
That's the update.
Then it's Christmas, December 25th, 2023. It'll be June when this episode comes out.
Why do you always do this?
I think it goes beyond this anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. This is Christmas.
Could be Christmas
So
Eve.
here it is.
I've received a lot of support through my posts, and I'm really grateful. Writing these updates have had a therapeutic effect. Yesterday was Sunday, but I didn't answer my dad when he called. Rough.
Yeah.
I just really didn't feel up to a pointless chat, so I let him go to voicemail. He tried to reach me a few times through the day, but I didn't answer. Our bestie last minute invited us over to his house for Christmas Day lunch. So husband and I were busy all Christmas Eve making cookies, peanut brittle, and homemade suckers, hard candies for his kids. Homemade ones?
I was going to ask what suckers were.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was until I seen hard candies. But homemade hard candies, that's insane.
Yeah.
Mum tried to reach out to us as well, but I also ignored her calls. Fuck. I mean, fair, but fuck.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, given the situation.
Yeah, we had a blast at lunch. Our friends' kids are a lot of fun to be around. They got some techie presents from their grandparents. Quest VR headset and Steam Decks. Lucky little rascals. Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Friend and his wife aren't good with tech, while hubby and I are so, well, we helped them, oh my god, we helped them get set up while our friend played a good host to his folks and in-laws. I want to say, if the parents aren't tech savvy and the grandparents have bought the kids a Steam Deck, they are fucked. Just 100% fucked. Because
you gotta hope those kids know what they're doing.
That shit runs on Linux, and if you want to do anything like even remotely interesting other than like download actual Steam games, and even then sometimes to get stuff to run, you gotta know how to like actually use that system. Like I should probably do a follow-up of our Steam Deck episode, because I've had a lot more time with it now, and some of the stuff I've done, you know, it's like, but yeah, anyway, sorry.
not to diverge.
Yeah. The grandparents didn't realise that a Steam Deck required a Steam account, so we got the kids all their own accounts set up, added them to our Steam friends list, and gifted them some games. Oh, that's really nice.
That's sweet.
We also bought them a few VR games for their headset, and they were off to the races with Beat Saber in no time. Oh, fuck yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like the next generation Just Dance.
Yeah, it really is. As for my folks, my brother texted and asked if we could talk sometime tomorrow. I think me ignoring mum and dad has caused some kind of upset, which they deserve. I mean, yeah, I guess. They didn't invite her to the funeral.
Yeah. Oh boy, this is a long update now.
So,
Boxing
Day, December 26, 2023, Brothers Call. Spoke with my brother over the phone this morning. For starters, he apologised for everything. Him and I are good, for now. For a bit of background, my brother and I are only 2 years apart. I was expecting a bit of a different age gap, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of kids around growing up, so the two of us were often stuck doing stuff together. So we have a lot of shared interests and passions. He's been pretty silent on this whole matter, but still part of the group, quote unquote, if you know what I mean. I think the thought of losing him out of my life was probably the most painful, because he's always been there. He was my rock until my husband. He's definitely a mama's boy though, so anything mum wanted, he made sure she got. I'm happy to have him back. Okay, so here we go. We're about to get into the what happened.
Okay. Juicy beats.
So, without further ado, here's the story from the horse's mouth. Mum apparently had a cancer scare late last year.
Which no one
told me about. Go figure.
Oh my god.
And Dad had a stent put in his heart back in January, which I did know about. Okay, so she know about that.
Okay.
This sense of morality, quote unquote, has apparently lit a fire under Mum's ass to get me back home. But since I wasn't reacting to her passive-aggressive hinting, she and stepmom decided to go full crazy. Oh, so they teamed up. The stepmom and the mum teamed up.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Wow.
That is worse.
My great-uncle's health was bad, and he'd been asking about funeral arrangements for his sister, my grandma, for a while. So the mums decided to plan it, and use the event as a giant middle finger to me. They kept all the planning pretty hush-hush between the two of them, so no one on our side of the family actually knew about the funeral until like 2 weeks before. Wow. The mum said they'd invite hubby and I. No one thought about anything. No one thought anything about it. No one thought to mention, confirm, or check with me. I mean, if you're in a family where that's the usual sort of like, it's just sort of like, you know, if someone says they're gonna invite you and let you know about something, and you usually turn up, like, then you're not gonna have that like sense of, oh well, I'll confirm it directly with them. If someone else is planning the event, you assume that they've done everything.
Yeah, they've done their job.
The plan was to scatter the ashes, say a few words, and maybe head to town for lunch. It was a small affair. The mums didn't even tell the family that our great uncle was coming for it. Like I said, it was a small thing, barely a footnote. No one thought it was odd because we're pretty chill people. Okay. 4th of July happens. Husband and I are out. No one thought to mention it, as we were all busy celebrating and having a great time. Anytime the topic of this weekend would start, the conversation would quickly be shifted by one of the moms. We went back home. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. Also, I should probably mention, since we're this far in, it'll be linked in the description, I'm not reading the word hubby out loud the amount of times it gets written here. That's why I'm saying husband.
Yeah.
I'm also saying mum for the most part instead of mom.
Yeah, I can hear you like sort of fighting to say mom.
It's so annoying because my brain's trying to read what's on screen and I'm like, nope, no.
Let the American die.
8th of July happens. Great uncle rolls into town with a few of his kids, grandkids, and great grandkids. He brought an entourage.
Yeah, that's an
rented
army.
a bus.
That's a militia.
And it's a surprise to everyone but the mums. Everyone drives to the Maple Grove, and the mums have brought a ton of food and stuff. It's a full-blown party. No one on my side notices I wasn't there because there were so many extra faces outside the usual group. They did the spreading of the ashes, they said their words, they ate, they had a great time. It wasn't until our great uncle left and all his side left with him that they realised I wasn't there and hadn't been there. And this is where the crazy went up a notch. Oh my god.
Of course.
My brother says the mums were happy no one noticed I was there. And this was the proof to everyone that I needed to move back because I was so easily forgotten about. Because none of them thought to reach out, right? This basically did a ton of guilt-tripping manipulation bullshit, and it made everyone upset at me for not showing up. Somehow it was my fault for being excluded, so suddenly everyone was on their side with sticking it to me, quote-unquote. But
Christ.
What the fuck?
But then a few months went by and tempers cooled, and then I guess the horror of it set in, followed by the shame, but they were in too deep, quote-unquote. How do you undo something like this? And since I hadn't brought it up, I guess they figured they would all just stay quiet about it and hope I never asked about a funeral. Holy fuck.
Wow.
Don't bet on that.
Then I discovered the situation from my great uncle's Facebook and called my mum, who panicked and went with the stupidest solution, claiming I was there. Don't I remember?
Quick, act dumb.
That is the stupidest solution.
Oh my god. I ended up talking with a few friends from high school, mentioning the situation, and word got back to those in town. So suddenly town gossip and little old church ladies got involved. Was I or wasn't I at the funeral? Did family forget to invite me to the funeral? Or only oh my god. Did my family forget to invite me to the funeral of the only grandparents I'd ever known? Or am I just causing a ruckus? My brother said they all just went with mum's answer. Of course they wouldn't forget me, of course I was there, of course they're good people, and it just snowballed. The family expected me to eventually fold. I'm usually a non-confrontational person, so me sticking to my guns was unexpected. Holy fuck. And then I missed Thanksgiving and now Christmas with no sign of backing down, and I guess the realization that I could just stop being part of their lives is setting in, and my parents are panicking. He's tried just getting them to apologise and explain, but stubbornness prevails. They want to rug sweep, but I'm not letting them. My brother's upset with everything that's happened. He's realised just how crappy it's all been, and he wants nothing to do with it anymore. But since he lives with my mum, he can't get away from it, quote unquote. He asked if he can come stay with us for a little bit. I spoke with husband, and he's in agreement that my brother can come crash in our spare bedroom for as long as he wants. Brother works remotely, so it's no trouble for him to pick up and go. I believe he's making the trip today or tomorrow, not entirely sure, but I expect crap to hit the fan when he arrives. On a side note, husband's stoked that my brother and I made up. They two usually game together, but haven't due to the situation, quote unquote. He's downstairs right now setting up his man cave in preparation for my brother's arrival. I'm happy to see him, so excited.
That's unexpected.
Yeah, it makes it really sweet, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a drink because
I don't like that.
my
Yeah, no,
throat's getting
totally.
dry as fuck. How does Shane do this all the goddamn time?
The man's a professional.
Yes.
Shout out to Shaun.
Hell
People
yeah,
who have
shout
never
out.
listened to Smosh
We didn't-
thinking, what the fuck are you
We
talking
didn't
about?
steal any of this from.
No, don't say that. Don't
Hey,
say
look,
that.
none of the stories we're covering in this episode have been on Smosh before, so we're good.
Yeah, and they can't sue
Yeah.
us. It's fine.
I think
Yeah.
they would. You read a Reddit story.
Yeah. They haven't copyrighted this format yet.
Okay, so the next day, December 27th, 2023, brother's here. My brother rolled in late last night. He'd obviously been crying, and when I opened the door, he just held me and sobbed. I'd never seen him like that before, and soon both of us were just standing in the doorway crying at one another. Husband's just there with coffee like, wow, what the fuck?
No, he's there with like 4 Red Bulls. Like, my man gets ready
Yeah.
if you wanna.
I
You wanna
got the PlayStation.
you wanna go play zombies? Zombies?
I gotta set up.
Dude,
Like,
dude,
you wanna
hold
go?
on.
He kept apologizing over and over again, said he wasn't sure why he went with it, just kept saying sorry. Husband got him all set up in the spare bedroom while brother and I talked. My brother's a wreck. He's always been a big guy, but he's lost a lot of weight and his clothes just hang off him. Oh wow, that's taken a real toll on him then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'd known better, I'd think he was on drugs. We talked for a little bit before bed and he re-explained everything for my husband. I told hubby the story, but it was just so weird that hearing it again helped. Did I read that sentence correctly?
No, it's just.
No, that's how it's written. Yeah.
It just didn't.
Yeah, it helped her to hear it again because it is so weird.
Sorry, the way I read it and I was like, I don't think that sounded right.
It sounded fine. It sounded fine.
This morning, my brother was up at dawn making some coffee and got his work day going. Husband's off all week, lucky. End quote, in brackets, lucky. Husband made us working folk some pancakes and bacon. So far, everything's peaceful. We've decided not to answer any calls from our family. They've been made aware that he arrived safely and that we are going to spend the New Year's together and that we're not answering any calls until January 1st. They may text if they wish. I'm sure they're losing their minds. Serves them right. Everyone have a safe and happy New Year's. Don't drink and drive.
I am so happy.
Yeah.
For them right now.
This is the thing, is like,
I hope nothing messes
for
this
a
up.
while it stays pretty mundane, and it's nice just hearing that, like, they're just having a nice, like, time.
Enjoying the quiet holidays.
So
Sweet.
now it's January 2nd, 2024, and the update is titled Happy 2024. I hope everyone has a safe and enjoyable holidays, and may the new year be full of joy and happiness. Mine's ain't been off to a great start. Not too much of an update. Things here have been quiet. My brother's settled in nicely and he's a great housemate. Our place isn't very big, but we have a full basement and a nice outside patio/porch area, so it doesn't feel crowded at all with the extra addition. He's a quiet and clean guy, no hassle at all. He got some fresh clothes from Walmart, a haircut, and trimmed his beard, so he's more presentable, quote unquote, now. He's a lady killer when he cleans up. When he gets cleaned up. He's made nice with the very nosy but kind retired couple next door and is adapting to the city living nicely. Again, you live in a fucking town. Folks back home have been mostly well behaved. There's been a few texts back and forth as we're not answering calls. Mom mainly wants to know when brother's coming back, but he's keen on staying.
The struggle to read what's on the post, but also to say what your mum actually wants to say.
But he's keen on staying here for a while. Mum said I can't keep him, quote unquote, and I told her he's a dog. I told her he's a grown ass man and can do what he wants. Brother says he has her blocked after she ordered him to return home.
I don't think this mum's okay.
Jesus.
No, she's not.
Brother has...
She has some dependence issues with it.
Yeah.
Brother has tentatively asked if he could stay long term, should he decide to or not. At least longer... Hold on. Brother has tentatively asked if he could stay long term, should he decide to, or at least a longer than usual visitor would stay, which we're fine with. He has a good paying job and could afford an apartment, but he's never lived on his own, and I would guess he has some anxiety about it. Fair enough. Yeah, I totally get that.
That's definitely
should that be the case, he'll start paying us some rent, and we'd probably adjust to give him the basement as his own space. Oh, and then we jump about 2 weeks ahead to January 17th, 2024.
January 17th.
And the update is titled, Had to Change the Locks.
Oh boy.
Okay.
For who? Do we assume it's the mom?
I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, no.
Like, it could be at this point.
Okay.
My brother is officially staying with us for the long haul. Nice. Husband and him spent all Sunday organising the basement and shifting things around, so he now has his own area to be comfortable in. He's pretty handy, and he has also started fixing little things around our house. I love that when people who just are good at certain things just come in and they're like, that's broken. I'll just fix that. And that's broken too.
Yeah.
I'll just fix that.
Yeah.
Or I'll get people to fix this. I love the fun people. I know what you're talking about. There's always one.
Yeah. Our windows and doors have never closed and unlocked smoother. Okay. He even fixed one of the
nice.
yeah.
Bro.
He even fixed one of the closets we never use because we can never get the darn door open. Sadly, he also had to change the locks in our house and gave us all new keys. So he changed the locks. He is handy.
Yeah.
This is because while husband and I were out this Saturday, the mums showed up.
Oh God.
They'd be calling and texting us all week, but we weren't really answering them, so I guess the two decided to drive over and hash it out in person. They have emergency keys to my place and just let themselves in. Brother told them to leave. Wow. They argued, and my nosy but kind, in brackets, neighbours called the police when they noticed the commotion. So we get a call from neighbour's wife, return home to some cops in our yard, all the neighbours out vacuuming their trees.
No, 100%.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
And my nosy but kind neighbours.
But kind.
Standing on my porch with my brother behind them, doing their best Gandalf, "You shall not pass!" impression. Had to talk with the cop. Yeah. Had to talk with the cops, explain that we were having a family dispute, and word vomited. I don't really remember what all I said and was shaking a lot. Our local cops are really great, fantastic guys and gals in blue, and took it all in stride. Oh, I hope they live in Canada. It's really cold here, so one had me... One had me join him in his cruiser with the heat on and gave me a bottle of water to calm down while we talked. They asked if we wanted the mums trespassed, and I wasn't sure if that counted as a criminal charge, so just asked the cops if they could just make them leave, which the cops did with no fuss. I think the mums were shocked, so we were taking this so seriously. They didn't fight or scream at us, just left quickly. Yeah, as soon as the law gets involved, they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is serious.
My dad promised me he'd make sure his wife left us alone, or else, quote unquote. Okay. He said he'd also have a stern talk with my mum. Him and I talked Sunday morning, and he seemed absolutely at the end of his rope. Husband jokingly told my dad he could move in too, to which he declined.
Thanks for the offer.
Not sure where to go from here, but we're getting some Ring cameras installed once they arrive, and everyone but my dad is blocked. Hopefully they all just leave us alone. Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine, like... I mean, to an extent, I get it. But to then flip out when you show up and you're told, we just don't want to talk about it. Just leave. And, you know, no matter what you do in that situation, if you're the one who's shown up and you're told to leave because they don't want to talk to you, whatever you do, you're in the wrong unless you just leave.
Yeah. There's no good way you can get through this.
So then we'll move to our next update, which is about, 2 weeks after this? Yeah. February 2nd.
Yeah.
Nothing new to report. Had a lot of DMs for updates, but don't have much anything to report on. The mums are behaving themselves, all quiet on the Western Front. Felt weird ignoring or copying pasting no updates to everyone, so here's what we've been doing, should anyone care. Dad got a new bird/squirrel feeder from Amazon. Nice.
Sneak dad
Yeah.
content.
Looks like a little picnic table for a child's dolly, but has a mesh top for the bird seed. I think it's supposed to be for chickens? Question mark. It's totes adorable.
It is totes adorbs.
It is totes adorable.
To his horror, it also works as a Cooper Hawk feeder, so now he's fortifying his defences and putting up some trellises around it. He'll have to wait.
Man before.
He'll have to wait till warmer weather before planting anything to grow on them. We had some Ring cameras installed, put in a motion activated camera that double functions as a light bulb. It goes in the light fixture outside the front door and is pretty cool. Video quality isn't all that great, but it's a nice addition, I guess. It does overlook the bird feeder, so I've been watching it on my lunch breaks and the days I have to go into the office. That's pretty nice. Husband and brother are feuding. They started a co-op farm in Stardew Valley a few days ago and they both want to romance Leah.
Oh no.
My husband confided in me that he's also been romancing Sebastian as a backup. I'm not sure why he's keeping this a secret, but he's pretty smug about it.
I have a secret weapon, Sebastian.
We got some relevant comments on this one, and I'm not sure why.
Are they relevant?
Someone
Okay.
says, I hope your dad can outsmart the hawks. OOP replies, he'll be able to, I just know it. He's just dealing with the wildlife and having hawks about, but he just wasn't expecting one to snag a meal right from his new feeder. Okay. I told him it was technically, quote unquote, still a bird feeder, just for bigger birds, which he thought was funny.
Yep.
He
right.
said he might make a little no hawks allowed sign to put up next to it.
Aw.
This is peak
adorable.
dad content right here. Then we've got Mesop, that's a confusing name. Keep the updates coming. The mums are so close to folding, it's just a little bit more LMAO. Also, the bromance between your husband and brother is so cute, lol. Honestly, I think your husband making sure he was a side piece of Sebastian is absolutely the play. I've never played Stardew Valley enough to really understand this.
No.
I have like very bare
Yeah,
knowledge.
OOP responds, so far still no word from the mums, but I hope you're right. I would love an apology and for us to begin moving past this, but I need that apology. I feel selfish saying that, but I refuse to be the bigger person on this. I just won't. As for my brother and...
Yeah, this is...
Yeah, like, it's not even that she needs to be the bigger person, it's that you can't move past something like that. It needs to be addressed.
Yeah. It needs to be like... It needs to have actual closure.
As for my brother and husband, yeah, they're basically soulmates. The two hit it off immediately when they first met, and they've been thick as thieves for years. We fast...
Beautiful.
So we fast forward to the end of February 27th, 2024. I think we're getting close to the end. Yep, we've only got one more update after this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So my dad came...
Well, we're running long, so...
My dad came out for a visit over the weekend. We had a good time and the weather was lovely for some grilling and beers. It was really nice to see him again and he seemed healthy and in good spirits. Here's his report from back home. So we're getting like actual in the trenches and update here. Stepmom, dad's wife, has started to realise she screwed up. I credit her change of mindset to the fact that my dad sat her down and laid it out for her. She leaves his kids alone, or she's getting divorce papers. Fair enough.
Yes,
That's king shit.
We love a supportive father. Absolutely.
That apparently shut her right up quick. Yeah, I'll shut her up right quick.
Yeah,
Because they had, they had a prenup done when they married, and I'm not sure the details of it, but it wouldn't end favourably for her. Oh. She hasn't worked in years, so I imagine she'd be eligible for alimony, but I'm not versed in any of that legal mumbo jumbo. Dad didn't seem too worried about it, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Fair enough.
Okay.
Stepdad was pissed with the police. Stepdad was pissed the police were involved in the last mum visit, despite no one getting arrested or anything, and was in the kids are out of control and need to be reined back in mindset. They're not kids. When my dad pointed out...
You are...
when my dad pointed out that the kids, quote unquote, in question are all in their mid-30s, it took some of the steam out of my stepdad's sails. According to my dad, even my mum looked a little surprised when he said that. So part of me is wondering if a good chunk of this whole thing is my mum not truly realising that her kids were grown and no longer children she could make demands of.
Yeah.
It always kind of comes back to something like that. Both of the mums have left us alone. I expected my mum to continue to kick up a fuss, but I think the cops spooked her. There was a wonderful suggestion by a comment to get their pastor involved, which I passed along to my dad. Dad has since spoken to their pastor about everything. He's a young guy, relatively new to the church, and joked that his first month on the job, he had to do 3 funerals in a row, and now his new flock were just dying to get away from him. So he's got a good sense of humour. Yeah, that's pretty good. The new pastor
New pastor
agreed to sit down with everyone and help the family hash it all out in a true come to Jesus type moment next month, so that maybe we would celebrate Easter together as our first holiday as a family. Dad said the pastor was aware our family was having some troubles, but unsure of exactly what was going on, and since he was new, the pastor didn't want to pry. He also agreed to do a small service down at my uncle's maple grove later in the summer, as it usually floods and is a muddy mess all spring. According to my dad, my aunt and uncle are so all over all the drama and just ready to move on, so I expect hugs and apologies from them when we next meet. Stardew Valley update.
Yes, the real
My
shit.
brother was victorious in the grand fight for Leah. It was a hard battle, well fought. When my husband exposed his plan to Wisbastion all this time, it was quite the betrayal. Dramatics aside, their farm is really cute, and I'm so happy they're enjoying the game.
That's adorable.
I would love the idea if there's some people that are like, no, screw your mom,
Brothers.
What the fuck is that? Who got me? I need to know.
I want to know what's happening on the farm.
So now we have the final update from April 1st, so just over a month ago.
I mean, it's his final one, I think.
I think I did read this at the time.
More in the future, but at time of recording.
As far as I'm aware, from what I read of this, I don't think there'll be anything beyond this one.
Okay.
So yes, April 1st, final update, I think. Happy April Fools, everyone. I hope you all check your caramel apples for stray onions before taking a bite. I also hope your Easter weekend was a delightful one. I don't get that joke.
It's like a prank people like to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like instead of caramel apples, there'll be like one in there,
Ew.
and they just cover it in caramel so you can't tell.
Okay,
That's
that is cruel. It is with great joy that I tell you all about our most recent update, possibly even a conclusion to this whole ordeal. The entire family, aunt, uncle, mums, dad's brother, me, husband, and pastor, that's a lot of people, and pastor met at my dad's house, and we all sat down to hash the situation out. As expected, from what my dad said, my aunt and uncle greeted us, all with apologies and hugs, which was nice. My uncle usually helps host the Easter egg hunts with the church, and he brought our Easter baskets to give us in case us kids weren't sticking around for the weekend. Oh, okay. I'm not sure why, but seeing it made me tear up and feel stupid because it was just a basket of candy, but it meant a lot for some reason. I mean, to be fair, she hasn't seen her family.
Yeah.
She's had to forgo most of the events that she would participate in.
Mm-hmm.
The pastor leads us in a prayer and talked about forgiveness and such. He then asked us all to talk one at a time about how we're feeling and what we want the end result of today to be. No one was allowed to interrupt, so everyone got to talk. It was nice. The consensus for the group was that most everyone wanted things to go back to normal, quote unquote. The only ones who had any variance of this was my mum and stepdad. They both wanted all us kids to move back to the area. Fucking Jesus.
That's not up for you to decide.
Let it go! The pastor asked them why they wanted us back, and neither could give a good reason other than because family. Alright, Vin Diesel.
Insert Vin Diesel.
And the pastor asked us if we were thriving where we were, and we said we were. He asked if we were happy there, which we were. He then asked my mum and stepdad if they wanted us to give up our happiness to make them happy, and my mum broke down and said no. We all had a good cry. The pastor then asked about the funeral and lies that led up to it and followed it, and how it made us all feel, and what we wished we'd done differently if we had the chance. It was all very emotional, but in a good way, you know? Everyone apologised and admitted they fucked up and did a really crappy thing. Why did she bleep out the... whatever.
Effed up.
You swear on Reddit.
We all talked for a long time, and the pastor was a great mediator. Eventually we all reached some sort of resolution, and I think we're good now. Emotions are still high and a little raw in areas, but we stayed for Easter weekend and had a nice time. We're going to keep moving forward slowly and try to repair the relationship, but I believe we're well and truly out of the woods. As for my brother, he's still staying with us, and mum will stop trying to guilt trip him back home. He's thinking about renting a small apartment in our area, but we're not pushing him to make a decision. He knows he's welcome to stay as long as he wants, I think he wants to try dating. He's had a few girlfriends, but never anything serious, and is embarrassed to bring girls around our place. Lol.
I mean,
I get it.
Yeah.
He's been going to a few random classes / book clubs at the local library for something free to do, and hitting it off with all the little old ladies who attend, and they keep trying to hook him up with girls his age who they know. He has been on a few lunch / coffee dates with a couple girls, but I think he's too embarrassed by the attention to give it a real try at dating any of them. He's happy though, which is all I could ask for. I'm not sure if there will be any more updates, as I think it's all been resolved as much as it can be at the moment. I want to thank you all for your words of advice and giving me a place to vent and scream into the void. Please be kind to one another and to yourselves. Thank you. I think it's a pretty nice resolution to the story. Like I say, it's most of it's kind of mundane for the most part, but it is like it's quite
mundane.
Even though the family drama resolved, I want her to keep updating us about our brother. That's my
because I'm invested now.
I want to know if he moves out. I want to know if he gets a girlfriend. What their farm is doing on Stardew Valley. What's up?
My cable came very loose on my recording and it stopped, and I think about a minute ago.
I don't think you were really saying anything at that point, so I think you're okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna start again.
Hopefully.
Don't. Sorry, that just caught me off guard.
Just try not to save over your current recording.
No, I'm not. I've made sure that it's just kept everything already. I'm still at like an hour and a half in.
No, you're good. You're good.
My fault.
So we got some relevant comments here before we wrap up. We got, what a nice and hopeful update. I'm really glad you stuck to your guns when everyone threw sanity out the window, but could your mother explain how she thought this would work out in her favour? I don't think my mum thought too far ahead. I believe she assumed it would all just magically work out the way she wanted it to, so she wasn't sure what she was expecting to happen, which I think was a lie, but I wasn't going to push it. Another comment said, this is a great update, but no Stardew Valley update? What gives? Has Sebastian been wooed? How's Leah? What's happening? Sebastian has indeed... Yeah.
Exactly.
OOP replies, Sebastian has been wooed and woohooed. There's kids and cows and chickens. The two are still having a wonderful time at the game. They're working on completing the community centre, but it's slow going as they aren't trying to speedrun and just do things as they want. I believe they're thinking about going into the desert mines once they complete that bundle, but they're both super chicken shit about it. I don't know. Again, don't know enough about Stardew Valley.
I have no idea.
And the last comment we have here is, I don't really understand what you had to apologise for, but I'm glad you're happy and the situation seems to be settled. OOP responds, there wasn't much of an apology on my end, as everyone agreed I had done nothing wrong. Mine was more of a, I'm sorry you didn't feel as though I would listen type apology, which I don't really believe is a proper apology, because apologies like that push the blame back on another. I mostly expressed my feelings and the shock of it all, and how betrayed I felt. So, and yeah, that's the story.
Yeah, wow.
Batshit crazy mums.
Yeah.
And pretty much that's actually the source of this whole thing, is the mums being absolutely insane.
Yeah,
yeah. 100% butt fuck insane.
I love that the theme today was attempted gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately a pretty common thing for this episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put that in the title.
But excessively so. But they try to convince me, like, you were there. Like, your ribs are fake. I know your body better than you do.
Yeah. I'm the expert on
Oh my god.
Yeah, of course.
As a man.
Well,
this has been fun. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week when we're talking about Children of the Sea and Lupin the Third Angel Tactics.
Lupin.
So yeah. Bye.
Look forward. Bye.